Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to jump right into here to our Bitcoin analysis. We were supposed to get a bounce here off this point of control at 61,500. However, we came down a little bit lower to bounce off the cloud here tentatively with a high volume candle. So we're going to discuss what that means here for us, and more important, kind of look at some liquidation levels here on the back end, just to kind of see where we're at. And if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Love teaching people to trade. If you want to become a better trader, again, CryptoCache.tech is the site, link down below. So we take a quick look here, of course, 58,000 as per usual. That's kind of those late longs there that are in profit. Well, we are one of those, of course. We took a good 30% in our first target there at about 62,000. Now the question is, if we're going to go any higher? Well, the truth is there's more liquidation on the upside than the downside. So more shorts have more risk of potential exposure there to get liquidated. But that doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to shoot in that direction, right? So we got to look at a few other things to kind of make sure and double check that, but to quickly clarify here, 68,000 would be a heavy concentration on the monthly of shorts, essentially. There's a handful of shorts up there, and the same thing down as well, as low as about 56,000. 56,000 is probably an extreme worst case scenario for us. That was the most recent local low, and just an area in which we could see the price action pull back to, but I think it's less likely, okay? So if we take a look here, of course, at a few things here for Bitcoin, let's look at the daily time frame, work our way down, kind of see where we're at. And the important thing here is, again, when we talked about this yesterday, it's the moving average 200, right? Now, if we take a look here, the SMA is averaging itself out closer to about 58,000 if you were to round up a little bit. That puts us close to this support range here, so there's a solid chance we shouldn't see much lower, maybe an aggressive candle wick if the price comes down there. But between now and 66,000, I think there's a distinct probability we're going to see some price action fluctuate up and down in this range between 59K upwards of 66,000. I know it seems like a very aggressive range, which is true. It's very tentative, of course, for the moment, but the truth is we're not going to be breaking bullish for quite some time. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves and just get crazy with long positions. While we opened a couple of longs over the last 24 to 48 hours, we're keeping our leverage low and making sure that we pay close attention to them, right? Again, it's important to recognize that not every trade is perfect. And at this point here, Bitcoin, it's an imperfect trade. Imperfect coin, whatever you want to call it. It is absolutely one of those coins that will fake you out. So let's make sure we double check a few things to see there's no fake outs on the horizon here. We do take a look here at about 33 at the RSI. We're still over 30, which is positive, but we're still obviously on the bearish side. Stochastic is swinging up, and the same thing with the MACD. It's no longer diverging quite as hard. So we're losing that momentum to the downside. The more we stay range bound, the more sideways action we see, the more likely those numbers are to reset themselves, which is positive for now, but we need to see some kind of push back a little bit higher here soon just to be able to make sure we solidify this transition. In the 4-hour time frame, it'll be a little easier to kind of identify that. You can see that we are getting rejected tentatively by the 20-day simple moving average. That's this guy right here. Price action pulling back with it. Getting above that is important. Now we have a pretty strong amount of control here in volume. If you look at this here, we can see about 61,500 is that recent point of control. So closing above 61.5 is still a very good thing for us here soon, right? We want to make sure that that is the case. And if we do see that here today, stronger chance of probability the price goes up. We do take a look here at RSI. We can see RSI is getting closer to 50, but hasn't broken free yet. Generally speaking, that is still considered to be somewhat bearish. We're still stuck under this Fibonacci retracement level at 62,400. That is the 0.618 fib level, okay? So we're above a support range, but we're below that resistance, okay? So we're kind of squeezed out here, so to speak, in between. So the way to understand it here is that once we break above this level, we should be in good shape to be able to see the price continue further up once we're over the 50-day SMA. And that's really what I'm looking for. For right now, we're under the 20, under the 50. We're under 50 in the RSI. There's a lot of reasons why this is not an official breakout, okay? So again, now I know it's like hindsight's 2020, right? We took a long at 59,000, we secured profits. Do we keep our position open? Well, truth is, we don't know, but the best thing to do at this point is to adjust your take profit targets, or more importantly, rather, your stop loss, adjust it higher. Price pulls back, you always walk away in the green, right? So again, there's a lot of different schools of thought here, but generally speaking, it's best to make sure that you secure profits whenever you can. I would not get super greedy in this market. But again, heavy volume candle there, right at that point of control. Strong consideration for the price to continue further up moving forward. However, we do take a look here at the Ichimoku cloud. This is a positive sign, mostly. We got to just double check this and not get too crazy with it either. Excuse me. You can see the conversion line is now below the baseline. The lagging span is intersecting with the price action, but we're still over the cloud. So the important thing here is we're remaining above this point of control. That's good. However, we do have a momentous shift here telling us that, hey, we've lost our momentum. Securing profits may be a good idea. All right? It's generally what it's telling us here. So in that sense, it's up to you, of course, how you want to do it. But at this point, I would say if you're in a Bitcoin trade, make sure that you just adjust your stop loss higher as the price continues further up. And if you're going to consider a trade, wait for today's candlestick to close. We're looking for 61,500 or higher. If we do take a look at the point of control for the last 3 days, it's right there at that range. And it's important to recognize that being above that here today is going to be extremely helpful because it will tell us that the bulls are still in control. Okay. Every time we can maintain above that level, the more power to us, building that base, that foundation here, and essentially trying to build on it. Okay. So those are all positive things. Okay. So again, I don't dislike what I see here from Bitcoin, but we don't want to get too crazy and thinking that, we are just 100% good to go, no problem here, because there's definitely some barriers in place before we can break free. All right. So to make it simple, 64,200 is that 0.618 fib level. Closing above that would be optimal, but between now and then, holding above 61.5 seems to make the most sense. Okay. We close below that, obviously we'll have a different conversation. It doesn't mean the price is going to shoot to the downside, but we might want to expect that just because of how Bitcoin has been behaving based on a lot of manipulation. But you got to recognize too, there's a lot of fear in the market right now. You buy the fear, that's half the reason why we bought that dip, and you can capitalize on it. But I think right now patience is important. Let's wait for that daily candlestick to close, see where we're at. I hope you learned something today. Again, of course, obviously help yourself in learning as much as you can. I think that's wonderful. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the site down below, of course. Help us grow our Twitter, Telegram, Discord. I'm going to go ahead and post our playout chart here over there at this point here. This is just an example of what I post daily, just to give you a perspective on where the market's at. So that's all available on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And if you prefer shorts for YouTube and TikTok, those are there too. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.